No question about that. And they are excited to see what this is going to bring. Coming off the winning season, it has been hot and muggy all summer long here in the Garden State. That is not the case as we look at the weather here late in August. You could not ask for a prettier end of the month, start of the college football season. Not a lot of wind, not that hot. All those things with cramps to start, Brock. Maybe that doesn't play a role tonight.
This could be perfect for them. Well, first off, with how much rain and
thunder to defer. So the Bobcats and their brand new kicker, the transfer from UCLA, David Dellenbach, will tee this thing up. He has not kicked a college football anything in an actual game. And that changes here on this Thursday night. Scarlet Knights notoriously do not return kickoffs. Only 3 of them last year. They do have a dynamic return man in Ben Black. Ohio kicks it off, fireworks in strong. He picks up 12 out to the 37. And a first down for the Scarlet Knights and their new starting lineup. Most of the offensive line returns the same, but Dante Chin getting the start at left tackle, mostly inside, but he's getting the start in a hotly contested left side of the line.
And you were not going to find a more athletic offensive tackle in all of college football. Boy, you talk about footwork.
Inside, they run it, and Raymond is explosive. He tries to bulldoze Michael Mack, the corner, and he carries him for about 7 yards last year.
A true boundary corner, absolute lockdown. He is on the Thorpe watch list. That goes to the best DB in the nation.
John Hauser, their defensive coordinator, he stuck around. Tim Albin was the coach last year. He is now the head coach at Charlotte. Callie McManus back to the air. That is the transfer. DT Sheffield could not hang on. But they're looking for their new explosive receiver. Dymere Miller came in last year, led the team in receiving in his final year, and this year they're thinking Sheffield can take off.
And you can see the frustration as he goes to the sideline. This Rutgers fan base.
Dynamic. Matured a year ago, played in 4 games. Callie McManus dumps it short. Has to get to the Bobcats 40. Ian Strong broke a couple tackles. And Brock, he picked up enough yards to make it 4th and about 2, and think about it here in Ohio territory.
And I see them going for it. What you're going to see here is just a simple clear out route. Everyone run off your man out of their zone, and I'm going to give it to the guy underneath, who is Ian Strong, and his offense is staying on the field. The downhill back, Antoine Raymond, checks back into the game.
So Greg Schiano and his offensive coordinator, Kirk Sharrock, roll.
Safety DJ Walker, the Swiss Army knife. This is what defensive coordinator John Hauser calls him. 9th play of the opening drive of the season. More than 4 minutes gone by here in this first quarter. Callie McManus has had pinpoint accuracy. There's the handoff in the first carry for C.J. Campbell. First 3 years at Florida State, last year at FAU. We have experience up front, we have size, and boy, do we have push.
Greg Schiano was aggressive on a more than 5-minute opening drive with Jay Patel on to try the extra point. He tacks it up and through. Brock Vereen said was on a heater to finish November and into the bowl game, and well, a 12-play, 75-yard drive capped off by an Antoine Raymond.
That was as successful as they were a year ago. Why change anything? And you see there really a version of the RPO. They have so many ways to run, only 5 or 6 different concepts, but they work.
C.A. Ben-Gura is the running back, near 2,000 yards at Ohio. Last year was at Minnesota, not a ton of playing time, and he's back with the Bobcats. Navarro out on the run. Hendricks again.
Kind of fakes like he's running a route, so it wasn't a penalty. A heads-up play that started off as a disaster.
An interesting spot here, too. You got a kicker who has never attempted a college field goal. From here, it will be 54 yards. We'll see what they do on 3rd down. Scarlet Knights bring a blitz over the middle into coverage, and it is caught. Tough grab, Chase Hendricks. Now it is just beyond.
Darte, look at number 3. Boom. Laying a defender on his back. There was no one there to set the edge, and Ben-Gura is able to get to the outside and nearly into the end zone.
Now, Ohio was trying to go fast. Oliver Billett, his shoe came off. He was back behind the play. And so they are looking at the transfer. 72% touchdown last year in the red zone with an experienced quarterback. Bangura is gobbled up. Jabome in the middle of that with Kaj Sanders, maybe one. As we take a look at our impact players sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. We've seen Bangura with the run, and on defense, Jabome with his 105 tackles last year.
And he's off to a great start already to double that one.
On a beautiful Thursday night, Ben Black back deep to receive for Rutgers. We have seen two great offensive. Calliope managed great protection again, just high. Kenny Fletcher almost caught it on the deflection. Jack Freeze, the new starting linebacker, hit him right in the back. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
Jack Freeze was the talk of training camp in Athens, Ohio. There was a steep linebacker competition. He has special teams experience from a year ago. Some guys transferred out. He had an opportunity to grab a starting role, and here he is.
Having to replace both of their starting linebackers, their entire front six. They almost always play with 5 or 6 defense.
Do not be shocked if this ball goes on the ground.
Is C.J. Campbell with Calliope Manis in the backfield with Weber in motion. It is on the ground, and they've got a first down. Rutgers 3 for 3 on 4th down here in the first quarter of the season.
And until this Ohio defensive front can prove that they can be a little more stout, Rutgers is just
down. 1st and goal, Rutgers, as we approach a minute to go in the first quarter.
Jake Crable, the jack position, read that perfectly. He met C.J. Campbell at the line of scrimmage. C.J. just low to the ground, 210 pounds.
If Patel hits from 18 yards, he will break the school record for most consecutive in Rutgers history. Snap is there, hold is down, kick is up, and running on the inside. And, you know, for Ohio, they are running against a defense here that has one of their former stars on the other side. That is Bradley Weaver. He was the MAC championship game Defensive Player of the Year. Magnus Haynes on the way. It is not a deep punt. D.T. Sheffield lets it bounce in front, and Ohio downs it at the 46. And now Parker Navarro has to respond. And, you know, you and I were talking about this during the break. Navarro's a quarterback that ran for over 1,000 yards last year. They have not had a design run for him just yet.
Which is surprising.
Boy, one of the returners on the defensive front. They're going to rotate a bunch of tackles, and he made the stop after a yard pickup.
And Ohio may need to abandon trying to do anything between the tackles right now. Unless it's a quarterback power or something where you can get an extra blocker, man for man, they're just not getting any kind of push right now.
And Caroline talking about Marinaro in the middle, the right side of the line. Transfers, guys that Jordan Jones saw some time last year, but only started 2 games. You try the middle again. Bangura banged around. Tight end Williams back near the line. He had a touchdown earlier. Quick throw. That is caught. Ian Pugh, redshirt junior out of Oak Park, Illinois. Began his career with the Fighting Illini. Transferred last year to Ohio. Had a few catches. Going to get a lot more playing time this season.
Chase Hendricks is wide receiver 1, but Rutgers is really shadowing him with nickel Cam Miller.
Pick up about 3. He's shifty and he's hard to find.
Twinkle toes is what I'm going to call him from here on out. Look how he almost gets through this. Change of direction, jump right through there, and an absolute shoestring, like you said, from Moses Walker. If Moses does not grab that loop of that string, that may have been 6.
And you wonder, too, if this is 4-down territory.
Whenever your arm is out at impact, you just put your shoulder and your arm in such a vulnerable position. And again, all you can do is hope that it's not a serious situation. He's really taken a leadership role across that secondary as a key communicator.
Jason Horwitz, Bangura with a solid hole over the left side, and the former Gopher back at his home in Ohio is now over 2,000 yards for his career with the Bobcats.
Bradley Weaver was there on the cutback, but arm tackles are not going to work on Bangura.
They go fast. That is batted in the air, almost picked off. That is caught by the offensive lineman, Nick Marinaro, we're going to have to look up his uncle's stats, how many interceptions he had as a linebacker at Michigan in the 90s. Cracks.
It goes right through the hands of Max Rodarte. It was a great route. He got great leverage to get inside the DB. Just needs to bring that ball in, and Jen Elad's thinking the same thing. I got to bring that interception in.
False start will stop this play.
Before the ball was snapped, false start. Offense number yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
The offense, they've done it with special teams, which have been such a big part of the 17-year, two-part tenure for Greg Schiano. And Brian Smith's team's in a whole lot of trouble. Now, they get the ball and start the second half, but they got to do something with it here late in this first half.
You have to get a touchdown here. Here again, we see the pump block, and things just go from bad to worse when it rains and pours. You have a dropped 3rd down pass, you have a false start on your first punt attempt, and then you have a debacle that turns into a special teams touchdown for Rutgers on your 3rd. The pump error to put your offense in this situation with only 3:22 left.
So on the positive for Ohio, you have a chance here to end the half with a score, although you're 95 yards away from the end zone, and get the ball to start the second half. But on the negative, they have allowed 14 points in a hurry. And they're going to be back up inside the 5.
Offense number 5.
Yourself as much time as possible for what could be the final series if you get the ball back. But the first thing is first, you got to get a stop here.
It's the 2-minute timeout, which is coming up. They do get the snap off. Navarro in his own end zone. That is a beautiful throw on the move and a first down. He rolls it outside. That is picked up. Caleb Gossett. And that side of the 2-minute timeout. On the move again to the other side. Hendricks has his 4th catch of the first half. He had 40 last year. Rutgers tried to bring the blitz. Navarro hung in the pocket. His receiver fell down. Hendricks looking for a flag with Cam Miller in defense, and he can't find one.
Anytime you see a wide receiver on the ground and a DB standing over him, it's kind of a guilty until proven innocent situation, but no laundry on the field. Officials saw it as a clean play.
Timeout taken. Navarro took a huge hit, too. Keep it on the ground. Bangura is banged around. Jordan Walker, Moses Walker. And no timeout here. Remember, Rutgers has 2, Ohio also 2.
Aaron, I mean, about 3 times now, someone has moved far before the center has even thought about snapping the football. And credit to the Rutgers crowd here that are nice and loud for them.
4th penalty on the Bobcats. So 3rd down and 5, now 3rd down and 10. Down by 17 here on the road. Navarro lobs to the...
Slow start for him, which was surprising, but somewhere between the end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second, he found his true self as that kickoff goes right out of bounds.
It does go out of bounds, so good field position coming up here for Rutgers. That's another special teams mistake. Ohio's been burnt by those. Remember, a blocked punt for a touchdown.
But you know what? It's beyond special teams. Everything that they're messing up on.
Long run into Ohio territory for Antoine Raymond, the sophomore, who has 7 carries now for 70 yards and a touchdown. And remember, this is a Rutgers offense that ended last season with 4 consecutive games with 30 points or more. They are now across 30 points or more for 5 consecutive games for the first time in 17 years.
The personal protector said, no, you're supposed to be on the right side. And eventually you just ran out of time.
Ohio has off his back foot, open man. Hendricks in space, And if he throws that a little bit farther, he might lead him for a touchdown. There was nobody back there. And Hendricks is coming up limping.
Cam Miller in one-on-one coverage all night. And if Parker Navarro is able to plant that foot and deliver a good ball, Chase Hendricks is still running. And you saw him kind of stutter a little bit. Watch before he catches this football. Right there. And he kind of reaches for that foot, and then he goes down. But
touchdown drive to start the half. Broom on the ground. Duncan Broom picks up about 3, and now Hendricks back on the field, and that is a massive sign for Ohio as he trots back out there for the offense.
And as we get a line shift for the defensive line for Rutgers, they know this.
Miller in the end zone, right in front of the students. But then that end of the second quarter when Ohio drove 90 yards, converted a 3rd and 10 inside their own 10. And then started the third quarter with a 70. And Coach Brian Smith said, got to keep John Hauser, and they did. Second down and 9. Kaliakmanis on the ground. Broken tackle, Raymond pushing. And he's a couple of yards short of the goal line. Now they can't get a first down. So it'll be 3rd down and about 1 from the 3-yard line.
Ohio fit the run fit perfectly. They just didn't count on Antoine Raymond breaking all those tackles. Violent runner, and similar to who was replacing Kyle Monungai, getting strong.
Football all day long here on Big Ten Network.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Excited for that Oregon matchup. Dante Moore, the new man under center over there at Oregon.
Don't forget about Big Ten Tailgate live from Maryland to get your Saturday all kicked off. It's a short kickoff. Iman Dennis, the Michigan transfer, almost squirts through. And he is out to the 24-yard line. Now, Rutgers led this game 31-14 with about 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. But they have not had a defensive answer for Parker Navarro here in this ball game.
Of his teammate, but it does not matter. You cannot clap because quarterbacks and offenses reserve the right of the clapping motion.
And that gives Ohio a first down with 8-10 and counting in the ball game. Navarro settles down the field, and he overshoots the intended receiver, Rodarte. Henderson with great coverage. It'll be 2nd and long.
Happy to see him out there looking healthy. He went down last quarter in the back.
An automatic first down. He did not give the number, but I want to go back and see if that ball got back to the line of scrimmage.
I thought it was necessary of a discussion. Now, the holding penalty clearly caught the officials' attention, but Ethan may have got away with something there. First down either way.
And they snapped it. And they need to get this to the 40. Excuse me, to the 37.